Hi again. I hope you managed that. So let's continue. We reach at the warp, so right click and warp it and try to make it realistic. Try to make this dripping color like it floating on the face divisions. Okay? So make it like it's going up in the nose and then slide down after the nose. And here try to make that one like it's the end of the face edge. Okay, I think I just stuck there. So if you did something like that and you feel that it will be better if you do that again, so do that. Just save changes and then just warp it again. Now things will be more easily. So little bit from up there, and I think that's it. Then of course we need to pull this up and pull it inside the skin, something like that. Of course you are not forced to do the same exact thing that I did. Okay, then pull it down and select it pixely, and let's do it with another way. So remember, I should do that in the guy layer, okay? But I will do it with a different way. So I just use some tool to pull the color. And there is area there we couldn't reach using some tool. I will fill it using brush tool. Change color and pick the color of skin, then press OK and fill it. I did that so fast, so I hope you followed me. Okay, so now if I did and try to copy the texture using batch tool as before, you can see I cannot do that because I am not selecting the guy layer now. So in order to fix that, we need to merge them before copy the texture. So do that using Command E if you have a Mac, and then now you can actually copy the textures. So that's cool. Okay, now you can add, if you want, I mean, any kind of dripping skins there if you want. But for me, this is enough. So now we reached the hardest part, let's say. Okay, so get back to the dripping colors, and this time let's select this pink one here. Okay, so you can select that using any tool if you want, but I will use the manually one. So this amount will be enough for me. Of course, you can find this dripping color by searching in Google search about dripping color. So I just copy that and then paste it here as always, then scale it down and place it right here. Then right click to warp it again and make it like the border of the face. Okay, then of course save changes if you finished. I think I will pull it from there. Okay, something like that will be fine. Hide it and let's remove his beard there in order to make our works much easier. I will do that using spot helsing tool, and you can see that works. Okay, then if you did that a mistake, just erase it using erase tool. Okay, then let's add more from spot helsing tool. Of course, this will not be the final work. We're gonna to use the batch tool to add some texture there, skin texture. Okay, So something like that will be fine. Then bring the color layer underneath the skin, then select it pixely and get back to the guy and then remove the skin. So in Photoshop you should be smart. Don't stuck in something stupid like that. Then choose Sum tool and select the color layer and pull the skin down as we did before. So do that repeatedly until you fill the whole color. Now what I like to do before merge the layers down, I think it's better to add a drop shadow before that. Okay, maybe this will not be a strong effect, but I feel that will be good. So if you don't want to do that, don't. And now you should be able to do that yourself. It's so easy to add a drop shadow. Okay. I just think this is something stupid and useless. I really don't know why I did that. So maybe it's better if you didn't. But anyway, that will not affect our work. So press OK to save changes. So sorry about that. I really didn't practice that before. Okay. Now it's time to merge them together. I mean the guy and the color layers. Okay. So you can do that. Select both of them using Command or Control if you have Windows, then press Command E in your keyboard. Okay, something like that will be fine. Now, before deselecting, of course, we need to add the skin textures. So do that using the batch tool as we did before. So try to pick up textures from there. Okay. And from there until you see that it's right. So something like that will be fine. Now let's use Sum tool to remove that area and be sure to uncheck sample all layers. Okay, something like that, and then pull the skin up. And don't worry about details because we have the batch tool to copy textures. So use it in the place that we just messed up using Smudge tool. I think this area is quite dark, so you need to use dark tool to give it light. So do that, and the exposure is 70%. I think we must put that down to 7%. I think now it's much better. And of course, if you feel that it's not completely perfect, you can play with it using Sum tool and then add textures using batch tool and then make all amount of textures equal using Spot Helsing tool as we did before. Okay, so when you feel that you finished, let's add some shadow there. You can see the shadow is cut. So as always, I will use Burn tool to do that. And I am not sure if this is the exact spelling, so excuse me if I did a mistake. So if you add some shadow there, now it looks like it's really 3D and it's really more realistic. You can see how powerful is shadow again and again. So do that. I think that will be fine. Of course, you can take more time to do that, but for me, this will be fine. Then let's add some shadow to the entire skin. So double click at the guy layer and then select drop shadow, and you can see how wonderful is that. So you may need to add more size and press OK. Now that's cool. Okay, so I guess we finished. You may need to add more things if you want, but for me the only thing left is the powering milk. So go ahead to the folder and bring that milk. And you may feel that this is so hard to select, but believe me, it isn't. It's just a matter of focus and doing things right. So rasterize the smart object and then select the magic wand tool. Of course, make the tolerance which controlling the amount of selected area, because we need to select a milk color out of white background. So I just click thousands of times there to select that area. Okay, I think we need to increase the tolerance little bit and then do that again and be patient. Okay, and you may use quick selection tool if you want, but it just I want to show you that you can do this with many different ways. And for me, I can do that manually because I am a painter, but I really not quite sure if you could do that. So try to select the white milk there, and if you did a mistake, you can use the history box to undo that. And remember, it doesn't matter if you did a small mistake there. Remember, you can fix anything approximately using smudge tool. Okay? So let's use the quick selection tool and see how that will be. Nice. It's do a nice job, but it's so easy to do a mistake with it. Of course, deselect using Alt in your keyboard. And that's one there. Maybe you will do that faster than me. Okay. And I did the same mistake again. So I think we need to make the tolerance to something less. Okay, that was fine. Okay. Try to select everything. Now this is very good. Now what I want to select the base there manually. So try to do something like what I did. Okay. Then you can zoom in if you want those areas. Okay. And you can select that one and this one. So you can see it looks hard, but it's not impossible. Okay. So I just press Command C in my keyboard and then Command V to base it. Then Command T, of course, that's mean Control in Windows, to resize it. Then give it a position and scale like that. And when you finish, save changes. Okay. Let's use the color replacement tool to make the milk color looks like skin color. So I already have the skin color. If you don't, just pick it using eyedropper tool. Okay, that's nice. Then, of course, we need to just delete that amount there and make the opacity to 35%. We don't need to delete it at all. Okay? This is all to make it more realistic. So now you can see it's really look like this is his skin. Okay? But of course we need to add shadow as always. The only thing left is the shadow. So we need to put shadow there. So finish to remove these parts here and then add shadow using Beyond tool as always. Change the size. And of course we need to put the ring to highlight first, if you remember that. Okay, that was so darkness. So make the 3%. And that's it. Then go to the guy and add the drop shadow. Of course you can be smart and merge them, but I am stupid as always. Change the ring to Mythnos and then add another shadow there. Then change the ring to Mythnos and try to add some shadow there, down there. Of course you can shortcut all these stupid moves that I did and merge them from the beginning. Okay, then use Samtic tool to make them like a one piece. Of course make the string to 50% and do what I did. Okay, something like that. This is all the steps to make it realistic. Okay, now it looks very cool. And now I just merged them. So I should do that a long time ago. And of course you can add some textures there if you want. That will not make a lot of difference. And then let's add the shadow on the milk up there. Something like that. And in his head. And remember, this is now one layer, all of it. So that's fine. Now let's add a background. So I just add a new layer there and let's put it to the edge and we will make this gray and this one like gray orange, let's say. Something like that. Then press OK to save changes. And if you remember this, just click and drag there and the background will be appear. And by that we finished our work. But you can be more professional using the shadow and do what I am doing now. So watch me and try. So I hope you managed that. So if you did that right, that means you are so good in controlling shadow. And that's it. Now what I want you to do is go and take selfie and try to do all these steps to yourself. And then share that with your friends. And of course send it to my Gmail or tag my Instagram account. So thank you for watching and see you next lecture.